Yes, ladies and gentlemen, joining us live in this broadcast is yet another beautiful Thursday. And here we are as the alternative voice. I'm your host for tonight, Cleophas OLUOCH. And today we are talking about youth and technology. I know if you're in Kenya, it's a very busy Thursday for us. Those who are in Nairobi, we have the cases of COVID-19 on the rise. And those in Kisumu, those attending the BBI rallies and the presidential launches. He's launching so many projects back in Kisumu. And if you're joining us live from Kisumu, you did well in receiving the presidents and the ODM leader Raila Odinga. So this night we are live, and our guest tonight is Neville Lusimba. Neville Lusimba is joining us live from India, where we want to talk more on youth and technology. Neville is someone who believes on youth development and how to make the life of a youth better. And so on that is the CTO, if you can call it, Chief Technology Officer at ERRANDS Guy Limited, and is based in India, and he is here tonight to share with us more. Karibu sana Neville.
Asante. I am happy. I'm glad to join you on this.
Karibu sana. Topic yetu leo ni very easy. We are talking more on youth and technology. And you, as a person who is in this field of technology, I don't know first how you're doing in India. How is India so far as COVID is concerned?
India kuko sawa tu. Kumekuwa na a lot of issues lately. There have been, right now we are in the monsoon season. Kumekuwa na issues of climate change, yeah? So previously there was the monsoon season that was coming between August and ilikuwa inakuja in between July and August. But then right now it's kind of extending. We should be having winter right now, but then we are now looking at a case where mvua inanyesha sana and it's flooding in a lot of cities in India, yeah? So, and you see, when it begins to flood, there's this issue where people kuna commotions mingi sana, which is even accelerating the rate of corona spread across different places. So it's kind of not so good in regards to that, but I guess that's what I can say. But sisi tuko sawa mahali tuko tu.
Everything happens for a reason, and it's only a season. We hope that one day we'll go back to our normal lives and also do the things that we're used to do in a normal way. And so if you're joining us live from Facebook, our account is The Alternative Voice on Facebook and on YouTube. That's where you find us live. And on tonight's discussion, we want you to be engaged as a youth so that you can learn as much as you can from the expert of the day, and that's Neville Lusimba, joining us live from India. And so without so much ado, we like to go straight and dive into it. Youth and technology. Neville, you are a young man and you have crossed the borders, and here you are today to talk to us about youth and technology. First of all, who is Neville Lusimba, and what is Neville Lusimba doing in India? You should be somewhere in Kenya, maybe pale Western, unasaidia watu sana na masuala ya technology. Nini imekupeleka India?
Nilikuja India kusoma. I actually did my first degree in Mombasa, the Technical University of Mombasa. Then nikaamua nikuje India. I came to study for a second degree here at a university called Osmania. So I just finished in 2020, but I've been doing a lot of things. I'm a person who is very passionate about the youth, and I'm passionate about development using technology. So a lot of projects that I've been handling for the last 4 years have been, let's say for the past 6 to 7 years, I've been handling a lot of programs that seek to empower the youth. Yeah. And not just empower the youth in terms of when watu wakisema we're empowering the youth, we talk about general stuff. In this case, I mean using technology for good of the youth. If we're talking about employment, what we've been doing is trying to see how is it that we can create employment opportunities for the youth. Yeah. So I've been overseeing training programs at some point. I have been a teacher myself. I've been teaching programming and in various fields. Even there was a time I visited Kerala. I've hosted quite a number of webinars just to teach people about using technology. Yeah. Then I also co-founded a company back in 2016 with one of my partners. He's back in Kenya, Nairobi. And what we were doing is to help people to look for houses, and that is still going on. But in 2020, we saw that there was the need for people. Unajua kuna ile wakati wa there's a crisis, yeah. So
Yes.
last year, I met a partner, and what we wanted to do was we had two things in mind. Tulikuwa tunataka to create job opportunities for the youth, because this is something that's really, it's a teething problem. Ukiangalia the rate of unemployment in Kenya, in India it is not so much of a big issue. You know, the unemployment issue in India is because the population is so large, not because there are lack of opportunities. But in Kenya, unapata, the serious issue is the lack of opportunities, not the large population, because Kenya just has about maybe 5 to 10 million youth. Yeah. So meaning that if there are a number of opportunities that are able to cater for all these people, then we wouldn't be talking about issues of unemployment. So I met this guy named George, and we started discussing on how is it that we are able to go into the gig economy and see how we are able to provide job opportunities for a lot of people in Kenya. And how were we able to do that? We now looked at a solution. We kind of looked at the market, and we were like, okay, there is the need for provision of services. You know, as technology ikiendelea to increase, we have the situation where people want to be served now, and whatever they want it now, isn't it? So the first thing that we looked at, George has been working on delivery services. He's been working on errands in Nairobi, and we decided, like, why not take it national? And we are looking at a Pan-African sort of like setup, where we are now looking at not just an impact within Nairobi, as many companies in Kenya have done before. Wengi huwa wana focus in Nairobi because it's easy. You know, there's a lot of population, there's a lot of money in Nairobi, but then we cannot be able to create a change mahali ambapo we want to do the easy things. Yeah. So we must go for the difficult situations in the society in order for us to create real impact. And we want to provide job opportunities in the gig economy era, where mtu mwenye anaishi Turkana hafai kutoka Turkana just to come to Nairobi to look for a job. Yeah. So that was the vision that is driving Errands Guy. We want, wewe kama unaishi Western, don't get out of Western because you're looking for an opportunity in Nairobi, because kila mtu akienda Nairobi, then what? How will the other areas be developed? You see? Yeah. So that is the vision that we're having at Errands Guy, and I believe that we are making an impact. Wanasema we are turning one stone at a time. So that is what we are doing, and we believe that we shall be able to cover the whole country and East Africa and the rest of Africa in time to be able to provide more opportunities. So, yeah, in a nutshell, that's it. Yeah.
Neville, thank you very much for that wonderful introduction of what you do. And now, talking of you being a Pan-Africanist and also someone who has various goals set for you to achieve, because you are in the gig economy, as you said, and you really need to know how to link technology with our daily lives. And so, kindly brief us on how we as young people can use this technology. I know it's broad and we should go step by step. How can a youth use technology to be in a position maybe to advance in education, and after advancing in education to be in a position to get employment? Or how can a youth position himself or herself to be that best candidate in any job opening that is available for them?
Okay, you've brought in a good point. I hope utaniallow to mix in between Swahili and English, because
umeruhusiwa Kihindi tu. Yes.
Miss Hawa. So you've actually brought up a very good point. And what I would say, as much as I have to, I have actually undergone through two undergraduate programs. There is nothing that I have done that really attributes to achievements ambazo nimeweza kufikisha hadi sasa ambazo I can attribute back to my bachelor's degree. Yeah. Everything that I've been able to do to date is because I was an ambitious person. Yeah. And in terms of technology, ninaweza nikasema even the first the first salary I ever got is not really related to technology, yeah, but the very first one ile unaweza ukasema sasa nimepata some money. I was actually still a student at Technical University of Mombasa. Yeah. And what we were able to do is I used to learn a certain skill that I knew that kuna mtu anahitaji mahali, and I would offer services. No. Yeah. For example, I remember there was this kuna huyu, he's an accountant in Mombasa, and he needed his computers fixed. Yeah. And at that time, I kind of did not know how exactly computers are supposed to be fixed. Lakini unajua kuna ile there's the internet, hiyo wakati kulikuwa na internet. I think that was around 2012, 2013. And the internet was not very much spread, but hiyo wakati kuna ile, you know how to do this, you can Google this, you can Google that. I downloaded a book. Yeah. And this guy akakuja akaniuliza, I met him somewhere, akakuja akaniuliza, okay, I need this computers fixed. Can you do it? And I was like, yeah, of course I can do it. Yeah. So there is that aspect of never saying no to an opportunity. There is Richard Branson. I think watu wengi wanajua Richard Branson. Yeah. Kwa wale wenye wamjui, there is also Google. You can Google and you know more about Richard Branson. What he says is, never say no to an opportunity. Yeah. So what I did is nikaenda nikatafuta, I Googled this and that, what could be the issue that's happening, computer kama ifanye hivi na hivi na hivi, and I was actually able to do that. And for the next 3 years, I became the official person who, kama computer imeharibika kwa hiyo farm, I'm the one mwenye ningeitwa. Then the next thing it came, web development. Can you do this? I didn't have an idea back then, but I taught myself how to do these skills using the internet. Yeah. Kwa sababu back then kumekuwa na, the Safaricom has been offering very good internet tangu sijui mwaka gani, maybe 2007, 2008. Yeah. And in 2010 there were nice Android phones that you could do XYZ kutumia Google. Yeah. So Google has been a very good teacher, what I can say. And right now kitu ninaweza nikasema, you know, in the 1970s, 60s, 70s, 80s, when our parents were born, kulikuwa na hii shida that there was only one library in the community. And hata sisemi community, in the country we had just a certain number of libraries. Na kama hakuna kitabu kwa hiyo library, there's no way you can get information. Yeah. Maybe you go to a universities kama University of Nairobi. Back then hakukuwa na Masinde Muliro, there weren't sijui technical university, sijui gani zingine, they were just technical colleges zilikuwa zimejazana around, and you needed to pay a fee ndio uende kwa college. Yeah. You needed to pay a fee to attend classes at the university. So hiyo wakati kulikuwa na lack of information. So 30 years later or 40 years later, right now we are looking at a situation of information overload. Yeah. Saa hizi you don't need to go to a library to get information. Yeah. Sasa ile situation na mimi ninasema sasa, you go to the internet and you search for a particular problem and you find out how to solve it. This is where inafaa sasa information is not about, it's not to the highest bidder, it's not to the person who's supposed to pay the highest. Iko available to everyone. Yeah. So that means the first step is to decide ni nini unataka kwa maisha. I want to advance in the society. What do I want? Do I want to go into technology? Of course, maybe kama that's your aspiration, you'll say yes. And then one thing I noticed is a lot of people want to do the simple things. Just like I said, nilianza interview nikisema that this talk show nikisema, we cannot solve tough problems by thinking in a simple way. Look for a problem that is very significant so that when you're offering a solution, it is actually an idea you can sell. Oh, no. Yeah. So if you're pursuing kama ni a certain set of, when you're pursuing a certain knowledge, you're supposed to know, okay, how am I going to apply this? And the best thing I've learned is ukipata project moja, even if it's an opportunity that you're not really ready for, say yes, then learn. Be very ambitious to learn. Na ujue that there is nothing that is too tough to accomplish as long as somebody else has ever accomplished it. And even if you become the first one, then it's a good thing. because you'll have invented something. Yeah. So one thing naweza nikasema is that people should be very, very ambitious. I know I'm ambitious myself, so ninaweza nika-advise mtu akuwe ambitious because I know what it can do to you. Yeah. Be ambitious in looking for information and yeah, just be a person who wants to know kama hii kitu inafanyika in other parts of the world, what is it that's happening in let's say in the USA. Ukuje uangalie okay, ni nini inafanyika in the UK, what is happening in Japan, what is happening in Australia, what is happening in South Africa, Nigeria, Egypt. You know, you develop a broader sense of whatever the world is, you know. And then ukisha learn about these different things that are happening in these other different places, because you have the internet, so unakuja unafikiria sasa back home, how can we do this? Is this a solution that has been applied in different areas? Is it applicable to our home? Unaona? Yeah. So you're following a thought where you are taking knowledge from somewhere ambayo imefanyika mahali pengine, or even if it has not happened in another place, you're now thinking of a situation where we can now improve service delivery, ama we can develop this product that is able to apply in a particular area, kama tuseme in Mombasa, Nairobi, ama kwingine kokote. And now you're bringing solutions to the society. So the main thing is be ambitious, know where you're supposed to look for the information. Information is all over on the internet squeeze. Yeah. And then follow through. Ukifuata na zile like, I want to do this, I want to achieve this particular goal. So goal-oriented learning is very, very important. Yeah.
Okay.
Because your issue ya overload, information overload. So you're supposed to be following all these things that you find on the internet. If you have your goal set right, then you can be able to find the right kind of information ambayo unatafuta on the internet. And that's how you become an expert in a particular area. Yeah.
Okay, fine. And so on the same question of information overload, remember we also have that information explosion, and we have so many, or if you can say so much to consume as young people, and you tend to get that there are so many things to consume on the internet. And so as a consumer, how can I be in a position to separate what is meaningful, and that's now knowledge, from the information that I have? We have, remember, before it becomes information, it's raw data. And so from that raw data, it's processed and it becomes information. If this information is purified, at least it becomes something now we can consume more. And it becomes now that that knowledge that we can apply, as you say. It's a lifelong process, as you put it. And so all of that thought, you'll share more after getting these questions from our viewers who are watching us live on Facebook and on YouTube. The channel is The Alternative Voice, and we are live on both platforms. And we are Waweru Batia. Malin is in. Thank you very much. Esi Njoroge tuned. Thank you very much, Esi, for always being there for us. Prince Diamante tuned. Thank you very much for being here. Prince Guya Cleophas. Oh, my namesake. Tuned in, brother. Thank you very much for that. And we are taking more questions from this. We have Timothy who is tuned. Thank you very much. Kevin Amoya. Wow, so encouraging story from one of our own Lusimba and Cleophas. God bless you all. So on the same note, we have those who are tuned from Facebook, Twitter, and not Twitter, Facebook and YouTube. And we have all those. We have Prince anasema usikimbilie sehemu ambayo waona ni mafanikio, jaribu ukiwa sehemu iliyopo. Nimetiwa moyo na nimejifunza jambo. Hilo ndilo jukumu letu kama wanahabari na hata binadamu, kuwezesha mtazamaji kupata ujumbe moja au mbili, ili angalau baada ya kipindi cha leo aweze kuenda na kitu nyumbani. Asante sana ndugu na dada kwa kujumuika nasi leo hii katika kila pembe hapa nchini na hata duniani. Tuna wale ambao wanatutazama live kutoka Rwanda, Kigali, wale ambao wako India, wale ambao wako hapa Nairobi, hata wengine ambao wako nchi za mbali. Asante sana. Nikiweza kupata live comments kutoka various platforms, ndawasoma tu mbio mbio. We have Frida Odunga anatusalimia tu hapa, anasema hapo sawa. Tuko na tu watch live kutoka YouTube. Tukiweza kupata question from Kevin, this is the kind of mindset young people should have towards innovation and technology that will help them grow socio-economically. Thank you very much, Kevin, for that. We are Cleophas Bro Lusimba. How can that work in remote areas like upcountry where electricity is a problem, please? So you can be noting these questions down so that when we come
Let
back,
me just write them here.
yeah, we'll be going through them one by one, and we can take the next question, please, production. Yes, Millicent, wow. I agree with the guest. Google is always that teacher waiting for our question. And remember, Millicent, the same Google are so much information that we can get, and some might be also misleading. How can we refine that? Mr. Lusimba will be answering us in a short while. We have Frida Odunga. Yeah, Yana Salimia too. Thank you very much for joining us today. And you are watching us live today. It's been a struggle for you to get this show live. Asante sana kwa kupata muda leo. We have Alex Onsase. Wonderful intro. Just to ask Mr. Neville, what are the challenges that we must be ready to face when venturing into use of tech to improve our lives? Yes. If you can foresee these challenges, kindly advise us when we come back after this break of taking the comments. And we can get the last comment. And Brian Mullis Akeno, I'm getting you loud and clear. Brian, please, unatuwezi ukiwa wapi? Najua president amewacha kama mmefurahi sana, watu wa Kondele, Kisumu, na najua inawa affect. Yeah, inaku affect. President amekuwa kaunti yako leo. And so, Brian, Mr. Lusimba, we are going back into the discussion. We are 23 minutes past 8 p.m. And so if you can take from the last question that we've just received, what are some of the challenges that you foresee we as young people should get ready for even before we get into the business of using technology to solve our daily problems?
Yeah, so there is one challenge that that comes right off my head, and there's one thing. I'll just go back to your conversation when you were saying about information overload. Yeah, so in terms of searching for information on the internet, I'll just not talk about internet because internet is just one of the many technologies that are there which can be able to provide opportunities for people. Yeah. So internet being one of them, we have this information overload. We have all these fields that are there right now. We have things like blockchain technologies. We have Internet of Things. We have artificial intelligence, which has not, all these things have not really picked up in Kenya. But how will you know these things if you don't do research yourself? Yeah. I was, in June, we happened to host a certain webinar in which Bitang and Demo, I don't know if people know Bitang and Demo. He was a PS, I think, 10 years ago. Yeah, Bitang and Demo was one of the panelists. Yeah. And alisema some of the hottest technologies that are there, ambazo zinakuja huku mbeleni, we have things like blockchain technologies. Some of these things, if you look at the economy of Israel, I'll talk about Israel as a country. I think everybody is conversant with Israel and some of the challenges they've been through. Yeah. It was a very small nation which was founded. This was literally a nation that came into being in 1948. Yeah. At 1948, there was no country called Israel. Wachana na Kenya in 1920, Kenya ilikuwa only that it was under a different rule. Israel had to be created in 1948. Then at that time, kulikuwa, it was founded on a desert. So kulikuwa na famine, there was a lot of issues, there was massive poverty. Wachana na hiyo yenye unaona Kenya. There was significant amount of poverty over there in Israel. Yeah. And then come to the 1960s, 70s, and in the 1990s, Israel was still a struggling economy. Yeah. Until the government decided that we are going to take this set of specializations and we are going to develop a fund ambayo tunaona this Uwezo fund and the rest ambazo ziko Kenya saizi. I looked at the statistics and they're not very pleasing. Yeah. Yeah. But Israel, that is the way they used, even though walitumia to get out of the poverty. So we had right now, the number of companies ambazo zilikuwa registered according to the last survey I checked was 4,000. 700 and something, which are all huge, ambayo the world economy is dependent upon. Cybersecurity, Israel is leading in the world. So if you're looking for cybersecurity experts, go to Israel, you'll get sorted. If you're looking for things like, some of these really, really massive technologies, ambazo, they're sort of like forming an underlying layer of in the technology stack that everybody else needs. No. So if we are able to take some of these things, right now, we have things like artificial intelligence, ambazo other countries are doing a lot, including India. Ukiangalia vitu kama blockchain, if you look at things like Internet of Things, if you look at things like, I cannot really talk about 5G, sababu 5G, there's a lot of contention on that. Yeah. And sidhani kama Kenya, we really have the capacity to become leaders in that, because ukiangalia, it's causing war between China and the US. Yeah.
The US.
So it is a lot of money involved in that.
If we have to compare ourselves with other countries, what do you think we as young people in our country, Kenya, that's your roots, where you come from, and other countries which we can say are classified, Kenya is classified with under the same name, the developing countries. We are developing, no one day will be there. And so how can you make such a youth think on how to make good use of this technology to better?
Yeah, and the things that I'm talking about, technology sort of like levelizes. We now have a digital economy. The digital economies, it does not matter whether you guys are rich. You can decide within the 10-year span, we are going to change our country in significant ways, And ukiangalia all these things I'm talking about, these are services. Right now, we are working within a service economy. Yeah. And a person working in Nairobi is well capable of providing services to a person in Washington, D.C., or in Sao Paulo in Brazil, ama somewhere in Helsinki or in Sydney in Australia. Yeah. It doesn't matter your location, mali uko. So right now we are not really stuck. Physical boundaries no longer matter in the new economy. That's why I'm talking about all these things right now. Yeah. So if you're able to get ahead in some of these things that people need and they're going to continue needing for the next 10 years, that is how we place ourselves ahead of the curve. So that ile wakati when other people are looking at, okay, some of these things we need to get technologists, where do we go to? Kenya is one of them. You see? Like ukiangalia, I'll talk about Nigeria. I think, is Nigeria classified according to you? Is Nigeria classified within our scope?
We can say it's in Africa, but it ranks top.
Yeah. So Nigeria is a very good case example. Angalia Nigeria. What is Nigeria known for? Let me just ask you a question. What is Nigeria known for?
As we speak now, we have so many things happening in Nigeria, and one of them being the protest against the...
No. Let's look at the positive things in the society. Let's talk about the brands. The brands
the oil wells with them. There are
oil wells is one
country, and they have the agriculture sector is also doing well. And their
agriculture, that's number 2.
Yes, the transport system is also okay. Despite the settlement being much populated, there are so many good things happening in Nigeria.
And you're leaving Nollywood out. Yeah.
Yeah, we have Afro cinema, which always
continues. It is a large driver of the economy. Yeah. So talk Afro cinema, you're talking Nigeria, right?
Yes.
And talk about all these songs that these people are always exporting. And a new song ikitoka Nigeria, it's already in East Africa. You get? Ikitoka in Nairobi, in Nigeria, it's already being listened to in London. And these people have a signature. If you listen to this song, you know it is Nigerian. The roots are Nigeria. What is Kenya known for?
We have Gegeton, we have Rumba, Japani.
Yeah. Rumba ni yetu kweli ama it is East Africa. Yeah. Yes. So unaona, like, if we're talking about branding the country, we can say that as a country, we have developed this set of skills as a country. The youth of this country are very good when it comes to technology. And this specific set of technology, if we're talking about artificial intelligence, even if you're talking about just things like blockchain development or web development and all, some of the best web developers come from Kenya, you see. And this is not something that is unachievable just because you don't live in the US or you don't live in Europe. Yeah. And that is why I'm bringing all these things into perspective right now. No. Yeah.
Yes.
Because if you look at the conversations ambazo huendelea huku nje, people are looking at cutting costs. Why is it that all companies went to China ambazo zilitoka the US? They were looking for better services at a lower cost. So if these people are looking for better services at a lower cost, we are able to reach that threshold where we're giving good services, but at a reduced cost, meaning that we are attracting more money into our country. And that solves the problem of unemployment in part. Si tutakuwa tumejisaidia?
Yes.
Yeah. So these things, we're not talking about geographical boundaries here. I don't believe in geographical boundaries myself. Yeah. And that's why I've actually been championing for a Pan-African market where mtu akiproduce something in Kenya, you don't really have to pay very large premiums for you to export your thing to South Africa. Oh no. If you're producing something in South Africa, it should be well accessible in Egypt. That's how you develop a big economy. You're looking at 1 billion people. That's a market of 1 billion people, you know? Yeah. If you're selling something to 1 billion people with a considerable amount of tax, it means that your margins even go higher. Oh no. Yeah. So the borderless, I think we should be looking at tearing down the borders, and as much as that's a political issue, but I think there's the African, I think inaitwa the African Continental Free Trade Area. Sijui kama umesikia about something like that. AFC,
Yes.
it is called AFCFTA, something like that. So it was signed in 2018. Ilikuwa 2017-18, but then it is still yet to come into effect. I'm really waiting for that. Yeah, because it's going to really open up our markets. It's going to provide more job opportunities to the youth. Yeah. And companies that are being founded in such a kind of environment, you produce something today, hata ukitoa, if you're a musician, you produce a song today, in a few, let's say in a few days or even in a few weeks, it's being listened to in Senegal. Yeah. And the returns, you're able to actually tap to your returns from listeners in Senegal or in Algeria. Whoever loves your music is able to actually pay to you directly. You see? So such an opened market is something that we are really, really championing for, because it's going to open up Africa to even greater heights. Yeah.
And so on that point of if you say we liquidate or we make our boundaries fluid so that we can just be moving and doing trade, there is a real problem that is happening down. Wanasema kwa ground, literally different, and it's true. There is that digital divide. What can we do to bridge this big gap that is within our setups? We have those in the urban setup and those in the rural setup. That was a question asked by Mr. Buya.
Yeah.
So how can we bridge this gap to ensure that we are in a competitive environment where everyone has these equal chances? Because I know some of the viewers here are watching, and some are in the same situation where others whom we are advocating for and championing for through this question. How can that bridge?
Okay. There is something that I usually don't talk about most of the time. But one thing I normally believe is that everything is possible. Yeah. And I myself grew up in sort of like nimeishi mahali tofauti in Kenya, and mahali ambapo nilienda high school, that was in Kamusinga back in the days. Yeah. I attended Kamusinga, and I happened to lose my parents when I was still very young. Yeah. So meaning that I had to be brought up in a very rural setup, and all this access to technology, I have been able to achieve this knowledge because I wanted to pursue more. Yeah. So what you need is that determination. Huwa wanasema where there's a will, there's a way. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't believe kuna any other explanation to that, because ukisema like you're being, you know, the excuses that you give to yourself are the barriers you're creating in your mentality. Ukisema I live in a rural area, so I cannot be able to access this. Yeah. you're setting yourself, you're giving yourself a limit that mahali nimefika hapa ndo pale ambapo nitaweza kufika tu. But if you look at this and you say this is just a simple limitation, I'm going to try and find out a way to get past this, that is how you begin. That is step number 1. When you quit, you are surely losing. Now usipo quit, you're always going to try out different methods. There are many stories ambazo maybe tukipatana na wewe we can talk on a one-to-one basis so that you see how things are really possible. And I saw on one of my posts somebody whom I grew up with, alikuwa anasema that truly miracles happen, because if you look at some of the situations ambazo mimi mwenyewe nimekuwa, you wouldn't believe that hata I would come to India or I would go to another country or whatever, because it's not that I grew up with a lot of money, you know. Yeah. But through this determination and self-improvement on a daily basis, vile tu nimekuambia, the first job I got through confidence. Siwezi sema I got it through technology. I got it by confidence. Yeah, somebody gives you a job and the first thing you say, no, I cannot do it. What are you doing? Yeah,
you've thrown away that opportunity, and
that's
someone
an opportunity that's gone.
Will grab it.
That's an opportunity that's gone, and you never find it again. Yeah, it's better mwambie ni sawa, leta hiyo kazi. And you see, even right now, I normally like to provide opportunities for people who are go-getters. Yeah, mtu akikuja na niambie, okay, the thing that you're asking me to do, siwezi fanya, but give me 2 or 3 days, I'll come back to you with an answer. I'll tell you, fine, go find the answer, ukuje, then we'll discuss. Sita kudismiss, I won't dismiss you, because I know the power of determination. I'm a product of the power of determination myself. Yeah. If somebody is determined to do something, you will do it. You will find a way to do it. No. Yeah. So ile unasema sijui kuna limitations, sijui unaishi in the rural area, that is just a mental barrier you're providing for yourself. Unaweza uliza, I think the story of Dan is also very good. Yeah. Maybe yeye maybe anaweza kaleta perspective yake so that you also understand how mental limitations are actually you don't need physical barriers to tell you that hapa ndo mali unaweza fika. You can place mental limitations on yourself, and that is why I keep saying again, I don't believe in barriers. Yeah. Hizo sijui geographical boundaries, I cannot do this because I live in Kenya, I cannot do this because I live in India. No. What are you telling yourself? You are continuing to give yourself excuses, and these excuses are the things that you're going to be regretting later. I didn't do this when I was younger. I wish I would have done it. I wish I would have tried. No. Yeah. And I'm not saying that these challenges are not there. I'm not dismissing them. They are there, but you must find a way to overcome them anyhow. Yeah. Sijui kama answer yangu, it's kind of long, but I don't know if it's satisfactory. Maybe the person who asked the question can come up and maybe bring a counter.
And,
yeah.
Before we get a clarification from Mr. Guya on that question, which he has already sent. So if you could give us the highlights of the challenges that you think are really there that make people fail to explore to the full potential these available technologies just to better their lives. You remember, this comes a long way with personal development, business development. It can be on placement or how you position yourself to these job opportunities. So what challenges do you think, other than now you having that upcountry mentality, that you being in upcountry, you can't access those which are being consumed in the urban areas?
Yeah, so the thing is, the fact that you are able to own a smartphone, no matter how cheap it is, it means that you can read, right? Right now,
Yes.
When we were talking about libraries and access to information, right now we are facing an information overload, right? That means that there's something that Albert Einstein alisema, that he was able to do all those things he did because he was standing on the shoulders of giants. Yeah. Everything that he was able to do, he did it because he was standing on the shoulder of giants, and not literally that he was standing on the shoulders of giants. He was actually, he used information that he found here to better himself and to dispose himself, to put himself in a position where he's able to see the future. And some of the revelations that he brought to us, we are still trying to understand some of those things. No. And who are these giants that he was talking about? He was talking about people who lived 400 years back. No. That was people like Akina Albert, like Akina Michael Faraday, people like Akina Isaac Newton. Isaac Newton is famous. Hata wale wenye who don't know a lot of mathematics and science, at least wanajua Isaac Newton and the Apple story. You see?
Yeah, huyo jamaa mwenye alikuwa anabusha kitu kutoka kwa miti.
Yeah. And these are the people that
gravity.
Yeah, gravity. And these are the people that Albert Einstein was talking about. So angalia, imagine 100 years ago, people were saying we are standing on the shoulders of giants. What about 2020? 2020, you have giants who have been there all along. Let's not even go far. Even just 20 years ago, we have a lot of people whom you can look up to and say, I would like to be this kind of person. No. I would want to live the kind of this kind of life. Even ukiangalia the number of people who you would want to aspire to be like in this age only, just in 2020, those who are alive right now, they're countless. Yeah. And what all these people say is that you should be aspiring to look for information through books, meaning that you're going to look for information, look for self-development first. And how do you develop yourself? You're supposed to become friendly in things like books. And siongelei kuhusu mathematics or something like that. No. I'm talking about, read about stories of people who've made success. I was very shocked last year nilikuwa nasoma about some book that really inspired me. And even the story of ERRANDS guy is well within those bounds. I was actually inspired through reading a certain book. Yeah, it's called Blitzscaling, and it was written by the founder of LinkedIn. Yeah, it's called Blitzscaling, that book. And right now, hiyo kitabu si ati you have to go somewhere. Siku hizi unaenda kwa sites fulani, una download kitabu and you have a smartphone there. Soma kitabu. Kwa nini unaogopa kusoma? We have a lot of information on the internet, so
umezidownload nyingi kweli, ukadownload hadi ukaprint ukaweka nyuma yako. That's good bro.
Umeprint umeweka pale, sasa unangojea nani asome? So if you get that information, and somebody said that if you want to hide something in Africa, hide it. Ni Chinua Achebe ndiye alisema maina. If you want to hide something in Africa, hide it in books.
In the
book. But you see, we should be changing that kind of mentality. Yeah. Inafaa tukuwe tunabadilisha your mentality so that we're looking for this information so that we can process and say, our forefathers did this and this and this. Why is it that they failed? Right? And if we're able to learn from their mistakes, then we will not repeat the same mistakes. We will be building on their successes while avoiding the mistakes that they made. And that is how we build a progressive nation. That's how we build a more prosperous youth. Yeah. And that is how we now begin achieving what I was talking about, a national identity in something that, if you're looking for a technologist, go to Kenya, you'll find these people. You see? Yeah? It might take maybe 5 years, 10 years to build that, but it has to be we have this go-getter mentality and we're able to do anything. Hatutafuti sijui zile za serikali saidia jamanini serikali. You know that kind of thing where unataka usaidia all the time. That's not the right mentality. It's not. Yeah? Until when utaanza kukua unalia sijui serikali haijafanya nini. No. What are you doing? Wewe mwenyewe, what are you doing? You see? So you yourself have the power to change your situation. And I have seen this myself practically. I have seen it inasema mimi mwenyewe or something. I have seen people change their fortunes. Yeah? Alafu wale watu wenye wanafuata sijui hustler, they keep talking about hustler. Hustler mwenyewe anavaa saa ya $23,000.
Hapo kwa sababu hustler hajalipia matangazo haya moja kwa moja kutoka hapa The Alternative Voice. Tunasema the hustler nation, they have a narrative and everyone has a narrative, as you've told us, and we have the power in our hands, ladies and gentlemen, to change this country and to change the perspective that we as youth have towards use of technology to make our lives better. And so if you're joining us live right on Facebook and on YouTube, we would like to get some last comments because we have less than 10 minutes to go to the end of the show tonight. We would like to get some comments from Facebook and YouTube, if you can get them. Yes, we have Frida Odunga. True application is power. You can have the knowledge, but if you can't apply it, then amesema hapo utalia, utacheka utoke machozi. Yes, thank you very much, Frida, for that. And we have Kevin. Goal-oriented learning help us in mastering and becoming expert in the field of my interest. Surely I can attest that Google is the teacher that can solve our questions. Okay. Ni maoni yake. Google hawajalipia matangazo pia. Guya Cleophas anasema this discussion is very healthy and getting new techniques for our day-to-day activities. Congrats, bro. Thank you very much, brother Lusimba, for joining us tonight on that discussion. And we have Charles Meshak joining us from India. Asante sana. Guya Cleophas anatukumbusha kwamba anatukumbusha kwamba infrastructure in Nigeria is perfect. And we have Daniel Amemba joining us live from Nairobi. Anataja tu kuna soul music. Soul music ndio alikuwa anasema vile akina rumba Japani. Wako hapo anasema unajua tukianza kusema type of music that we have in our country unaweza zihesabu tu. Tuko hapo kama Frida. Did Cleophas just say rumba Japani? Focus Frida. Rumba Japani tunajua. Waweru Mbatia, unity amongst youth must involve for success. For you to be a successful person. Yes, you know tunamaanisha. Frida Odunga again on it. That open market is amazing. I think it will enable more growth, more market, and also try bridge youth and employment gap. Thank you very much, Frida, for that additional point on our discussion tonight. And we have Kevin Amuhaya saying the excuse we give becomes the boundaries we create in our mind. Wise words from our guest. And so up to this point, it's the best time to bring our discussion home, and we have so many people at tuned, and we have Alex on Sunset. Let me just go through them so that next time wasije wakasema hawakuitwa. Neville, you are just an eye-opener. Literally, I'm very impressed because it is our negative mentality that is killing us. I love this show. My first time, and I am in love. Thank you very much, Insansi, for joining us live on our YouTube channel. That's the Alternative Voice. And if you're joining us, the discussion today is about the youth and technology. And we've received so much wisdom from our brother from India. That's Mr. Neville Lusimba. So we move to the next. Grace Mwangi, Soma kijana. Wanasema Saudi Solo wanasema soma kijana, siku za zilibadilika. Basi sasa hiyo pati ya warembo tunatoa kwa sababu tunataka kutumia technology to better ourselves. Waweru Mbati following from Wajir, Kenya. Yes, from the farthest end. Na kuna network, so there's no one who can complain more on that network issue. My brother Lusimba view it in a way that in our country, I was trying to view it in the perspective where technology is hard to apply to some people in our country. Reason being, we have network problem and again, electricity. Thank you very much, bro for classy or trying to make your point clear. I think Mr. Lusimba answered that. And among the challenges, Mr. Guya is suggesting one is network problem, secondly is power or electricity. And so we have others that will read. We have Winnie Otin. Thank you so much. This live, very informative. Keep them coming. Huyo ni mdhamini mkuu. Thank you very much, Winnie, for tuning in. This is the Alternative Voice. And so we have other comments, Grace Mwangi, Waweru Mbachia, and also we have Provids, semi-educative session. Thank you very much. And we have Shak Charles, thank you very much also for being the part of this great discussion. We have Timothy Mutweri, who also joined us. Thank you very much. And for everyone who joined this live broadcast, we are almost bringing it home. And Frida Odunga is taking us home as we near the end of the show tonight. Frida Odunga, if I can get that from Frida. Seemingly, there's a category of people who prefer more practical things than theoretical things, because there are guys that can't really read novels of lots of books but can creatively come up with solutions. And on that note, I would like to bring to your attention Mr. Neville Lusimba, our guest tonight, to bring the show to an end by telling us what Errands Guy Limited do, because now it's a big brand, and the impact that you have so far and what you plan once you'll be back home in Kenya. Are there plans that you have, projects that you want to implement? Are there youths that you want to see grow? And what's your last take or call for that youth who is sitting on a talent and has the internet at their disposal?
Okay, so just like I said, the kind of impact we're trying to provide is the aspect of diversification in the new age that we call the age of gig economy. Yeah. So right now, for the last 8 years, I've not really needed a physical office. Yeah. I've worked in different countries. While I was back in Kenya, in Mombasa, I was working for different organizations in different countries. You see, that is why, again, I don't really believe in physical boundaries. Yeah. I came to India. Right now, I've worked with quite a number of organizations. And right now, even we founded a company while I was right here in India. And it is creating impact in Kenya while I have not been in Kenya myself in the last couple of months or couple of years. Yeah. So the kind of opportunities we are trying to create are these sorts of opportunities where we are able to bring these sort of opportunities, jobs that anybody in Kenya can be able to access, so long as you have internet, so long as you have the passion, so long as you have the drive. Yeah, we are working with quite a number of partners, and right now, as we speak, we've partnered with KEPSA, we've partnered with even with the Ajira program that we are trying to expand and see how is it that we're able to support businesses, small businesses and SMEs, in terms of digital marketing, in terms of logistics. Yeah. If you have a small business and who knows WhatsApp, talk to us. We'll get you sorted. Yeah. So that we will help you to reach your customers in a way that is much faster. And your job itapewa nani? Another youth. You see. So this is how we created this is how we create a more connected economy that is able to serve everyone. It is an economy it's a network for everyone, and it's been developed by watu kama sisi. We are just ordinary people. Yeah. So at Errands, we're trying to create these opportunities where somebody who is living in Turkana is able to serve somebody who is living in Mombasa. And somebody in Mombasa is able to provide solutions to somebody living in Garissa or Wajir or Kisumu without them ever having to meet, or without them ever having to even, they can communicate, of course, but you will not really need to hustle so much, sijui unalipa pesa ya transport, sijui pesa ya nini, and all that. You see, yeah? And we are trying to provide all these linkages. We are getting jobs from corporates. We are getting jobs from maybe some of the government funded entities and all that. Yeah. So that we provide training, we provide linkages to these jobs to the youth, the common youth and the general youth. Yeah. That is one aspect. And the second aspect is we have some of these youth who are employed, and they serve their time, like we can say all of their days are spent at work, and they need services, right? This is the category number 2. These people need services. Maybe unahitaji mtu wa kukufanyia this and that. Yeah. And you need both errands which are skilled, and you need to run those that are non-skilled. Kama to deliver things for you from one area to another. Maybe huwezi ukaenda huko for one reason or another. You can provide that job to somebody else, right? And through the Errands Care platform, we are able to link you to this person who has the time and the effort and the skills to be able to do this job to perfection and with a lot of satisfaction and reliability. We ensure that, you see. So on one aspect is job creation, on the other aspect is service provision in a reliable way. Yeah. How ni watu wote we are talking about the youth. Yeah. Isn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
So if we're able to make you more comfortable in your workplace, you become more productive and you're able to, kama you are thinking about starting a family, you'll be able to do all that. You're able to even raise your kids in a more peaceful environment because there's somebody else who's always taking care of the nitty-gritties of your day and they get paid. Unaona? Yeah. Yeah. So it's a linkage economy. So we are trying to create this more connected economy to provide opportunities for people to be able to live and work in a safe environment, as well as to be able to afford lives. And that is how we are able to kujisaidia na wanasema sijui ni kuomoka siku hizi, that's what people say in Kenya.
Kuomoka.
Yeah. So some of these opportunities that maybe we'll be talking about in the coming few weeks are some of the programs like Ajira program. We're working with them. Yeah. And there's a phase that we are launching. We are still in talks with some of our partners, but some of the youth in Nairobi and other areas will be direct beneficiaries of these programs. And these are not programs where tunakuja tunawaweka kwa hall and then we teach you one day and then tunawanunulia soda and then we vanish. No, we want to be able to provide stability to the youth. Yeah.
Thank you.
And the stability that comes, you are able to now foresee that when hii pesa nina answer easy, I'm actually able to buy a pen and a pencil for my kid mwenye nitazaa maybe 2-3 years in the future. You see? Yeah. And we believe that in doing so, we will be able to affect the lives of Kenyans and in more increasing ways, and we'll be able to expand and apply the same kind of logic to Africa as a whole. Because like I said, I'm a Pan-Africanist. So yeah, we want to be able to provide solutions for our people that are much more affordable and are able to improve our livelihoods. Yeah. So some of these things, maybe I'll come back to this show once again and we'll talk.
Sure thing, Mr.
We can talk
Lusimba.
about
It's a discussion that we can't bring to an end tonight, and the discussion continues.
You can always get services from us. Yeah.
Yes, this discussion continues, Mr. Lusimba.
Yeah.
It's something that we continue engaging
so I think
our
that's
audience.
What I can say about it. Okay.
Sorry?
Unless kama unasema maybe unataka kuuliza Kiswahili lingine.
Hapana. Kwangu nasema tu asante sana Mr. Lusimba kwa muda wako usiku huu, na kwa yoyote yule ambaye ameweza kuungana nasi usiku huu. You can join or get updates from our Facebook, our Instagram page, our Twitter account at The Alternative Voice, and you can follow the account for Errands Guy on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn at the Errands Guy Limited. That's across all platforms. And thank you so much for your time tonight. I've been your host, Cleophas OLUOCH, with our guest, NEVILLE LUSIMBA. It's been nice. Till next Thursday, when we'll be having this discussion and many other more shows to come ahead of us. It's been an honor. Take care of yourselves. COVID is real. Sanitize, sanitize, sanitize. Keep social distance. And remember to pray tonight as you sleep. You have yourselves a good night. Mdhamini to take over.
Mtaani Quick Auto Spa. We welcome you to Mtaani Quick Auto Spa. Our services include pressure wash, steam wash, snow foam and gentle hand wash, wheel and rim cleaning, tire shine, engine and body wash, vacuum, carpet cleaning, and much more. We apply encapsulation cleaning method to attack all forms of dirt and debris, which guarantee you the best results. We are consistent on quality services at affordable prices. Book an appointment now. You can call, text, DM or WhatsApp 0710 587 285 and we will come to you. All payments will be via M-Pesa Paybill 731-1341. Follow us on our social media platforms at Mtaani Quick Auto Spa. Welcome to Ahava Medical Center. We are located at Konamaji, Manyata, opposite Kisumu Elite Academy, Kisumu County. At Ahava, we offer general and specialist consultations, laboratory services, pharmacy, mother and child clinic. We also offer inpatient and maternity services including Linda Mama, and soon opening up our theater services. We accept NHIF and other insurance companies. Choose Ahava Medical Center as your facility of choice today. Call us on 0714-815-323. Follow us on Facebook at Ahava Medical Center, Kisumu. Ahava Medical Center, healthcare with compassion.